Hey there, ready to dive into some Hollywood drama?
Always.
Today we're going to do a deep dive into the biggest celebrity scandals of 2024.
Ooh, 2024. That was a wild
It
one.
really was. The year had everyone talking.
Yeah.
So our source material today is this really interesting article from Geo Urdu.
Okay.
It's called The Most Shocking Celebrity Scandals of 2024.
Catchy.
And get this, these scandals are more than just like juicy gossip, you
Oh,
know?
I'm sure.
They actually bring up some pretty big questions about like power and accountability and even what it even means to be famous these days.
It's true. These scandals kind of force us to look in the mirror a little bit as a society.
Right. Okay, so let's start with one that left everyone scratching their heads. The Barbie Oscar snub.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, this movie was huge.
Global phenomenon.
Totally. It broke all kinds of box office
For
records.
sure.
So you'd think Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig, they'd at least get a nomination.
Yeah, you would think, right. I mean, the movie got great reviews. It had a huge impact on people.
It did.
But, the Academy, they have this history of overlooking films that they see as, I don't know, just fun.
Fun movies.
Yeah, even if they're well made, like really well made.
Hmm. That's interesting. It reminds me of like the Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah,
Total cult classic. But the Oscars totally ignored it.
absolutely.
So do you think they just didn't take Barbie seriously enough?
It's possible. They seem to like those more serious movies, the dramas.
Right, the ones that make you cry.
Yeah. But to be fair to Robbie, she handled it really well.
She did.
She was very graceful, focused on how the film connected with people.
Yeah, she did seem very positive about the fan response.
Right.
But I wonder if, maybe she's just hiding her disappointment.
Oh, maybe. I mean, awards can be a big deal for an actor's career.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's hard to know what's really going on behind the scenes.
exactly.
But it does make you think, though, how do we measure success? Is it all about awards?
That's a really good question.
Or is there something more to it?
What does success really mean?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and talk about some heavier stuff.
Okay.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Oh, wow.
He got hit with a lawsuit,
Yeah.
and the accusations are really serious.
Yeah. Speak up, abuse, trafficking, physical violence.
Really heavy stuff.
And he's actually in jail right now, awaiting trial.
I know, right? It just shows how serious this is.
Absolutely.
And for those who don't know, the lawsuit was filed by Cassie Ventura.
Right. The singer and dancer.
Yeah, she and Diddy had a long-term relationship.
Right.
And the details, they're really disturbing.
Yeah.
She claims he, coerced her into these situations called freak-offs.
I remember reading about that.
It's definitely a bombshell in the industry.
It really shakes things up,
Yeah.
Reminds us that even the most powerful people, they can be held accountable.
Yeah. And actually, Diddy's not the only one facing these kinds of allegations.
Whoa.
Jay-Z is also dealing with a lawsuit.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What's that about?
It goes back to an incident from 2000.
Oh, wow.
A woman claims Jay-Z sexually assaulted her at a party.
And she's just coming forward now.
Yeah. She was only 13 at the
Oh,
time.
gosh.
It's important to note that both Jay-Z and Diddy, they deny all the allegations,
Okay.
but it's still like a pattern we're seeing here.
You're right. There's definitely a theme emerging.
Yeah.
And I think it shows a shift in our culture.
How so?
Well, it seems like victims are feeling more empowered.
To speak out.
Yeah, to speak out against powerful figures, even if it happened a long time ago.
Yeah, it seems like things are finally changing.
It's about time, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not just Jay-Z and Diddy. Kanye West is caught up in something too.
What happened with Kanye?
Well, his former personal assistant, Lauren Picchiotta, she filed a lawsuit against him.
And what's she alleging?
Some pretty serious stuff. Sexual harassment, a toxic work environment, fueled by drug abuse.
Wow.
Yeah, it's another example of someone in the music industry being accused of bad behavior.
It really makes you question the image we have of these celebrities, doesn't it?
Totally. We put them on this pedestal,
Yeah.
but behind the fame, there can be some dark stuff happening.
For sure.
It's a reminder that money and fame, they don't make you above the law.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot to process. It makes you wonder, how do we enjoy an artist's work knowing these things about them?
It's a tough question. It's something we're grappling with more and more these days.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Blake Lively.
What did she do?
Well, it's about her movie, the adaptation of It Ends With Us.
Oh, yeah. That movie sparked a lot of debate.
It did. The film is based on a book by Colleen Hoover.
Right. And the book is super popular.
Huge. and it deals with domestic abuse.
Heavy topic.
Yeah. So some people praise the movie for bringing this issue to light,
Okay.
but others, they criticized Blake Lively's involvement, the way she promoted the film.
Interesting. What didn't they like about it?
They felt like the movie, and especially Lively's, kind of lighthearted way of marketing it, it almost glamorized domestic abuse.
I see.
Yeah, it sparked a big discussion online about the responsibility filmmakers have when they're adapting these sensitive topics.
It's a valid point. It's a difficult balance. You want to be artistic, but you also have to be aware of the potential impact on viewers.
Exactly. It's a fine line. And we see this whole thing play out again with Gregg Wallace,
Oh, from MasterChef.
the one and only.
What happened with him?
He stepped down from the show.
He did. Why?
Multiple allegations of his conduct came out.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and the thing is, these allegations, they went back like 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah, some even came from, like, pretty well-known people, like Kirsty Wark,
Oh, wow, the TV presenter.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wallace denied everything, but he did apologize, and he decided to step back from, his TV career.
It's just, I think it shows how much things have changed. Like, these accusations, they're taken really seriously now.
They are.
They can completely ruin someone's career no matter how famous they are.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder,
Right.
about the culture in these industries. Like, has this behavior been ignored for too long?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it makes you think. Like, we got to hold everyone accountable, right?
Absolutely, everyone.
Not just the big stars.
It's about creating a safe and respectful environment for everyone.
For sure. Okay, let's talk about a snub that had the country music world in an uproar.
Okay.
Beyoncé and the CMA Awards.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
So Beyoncé released her debut country album, Cowboy Carter.
I loved that album. It was amazing, right?
It was so good.
And it got, like, rave reviews.
Everyone was talking about it.
Exactly. So naturally, everyone thought she'd get at least a nomination for a CMA award.
Right. It seemed like a sure thing.
But get this, she was completely ignored.
No way.
Yeah, and it sparked this whole debate about diversity in country music. And rightfully so.
Yeah,
Country music has had a problem with diversity for a long time,
it has.
both in the artists who are recognized and the stories that are told.
Yeah.
And Beyoncé's snub, even with such a successful album, it just highlights that issue even more.
Totally. And it shows that we still have a long way to go,
They do.
to make sure that all voices are heard and celebrated no matter what genre of music you're in.
In any industry, really.
In any industry, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about social media.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I know, right? Social media can really amplify these celebrity controversies,
Yeah, it can blow things way out of proportion.
sometimes in, like, really unexpected ways.
Like what?
Take Jennifer Lopez, for example,
Okay.
and her documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told.
I haven't seen that one.
It's not really controversial, the documentary itself,
Okay.
but some clips from it, they ended up on TikTok.
Oh.
I know. And in these clips, J-Lo is talking about growing up in the Bronx. And some people on TikTok, they weren't happy.
What didn't they like?
They felt like she was misrepresenting her background, her experiences.
Interesting.
And they were pretty vocal about it.
TikTok can be brutal.
It can.
Mm.
And it shows how fast things can go viral these days.
For sure.
And how social media has become this platform for, like, calling out people who seem inauthentic.
Yeah, it's like everyone's a critic now,
Totally.
which can be good, but also overwhelming.
It's a double-edged sword, right?
Absolutely.
It's changed the whole game for celebrities.
Yeah, they're constantly under a microscope.
One wrong move, and
Oh.
boom, it's everywhere.
Exactly. Speaking of wrong moves, remember Justin Timberlake and that DUI?
Oh, yeah, that was a mess.
Not a good look for anyone.
Especially for, like, a pop star with a squeaky clean image.
Right.
I mean, he got caught driving drunk in upstate New York.
Ugh.
And the report said he even told the police, like, this is going to ruin my tour.
No way.
Yeah, it's like a classic example of how one bad decision can just derail your whole life.
Your career, your reputation, everything.
Everything. Actions have consequences.
They do, even for celebrities.
Exactly. So what happened to him?
Well, he ended up pleading guilty to a lesser charge, got some community service, and a suspended license.
Wow. So we talked about a lot today, huh?
We have, from award snubs to lawsuits to social media dramas.
It's been a wild ride through 2024's celebrity scandals.
It has. But you know what I find interesting?
What's that?
How these scandals, they're not just about the celebrities themselves.
Oh, you mean?
They often reflect bigger issues in our society.
Like what?
Power dynamics, gender inequality, the way we treat victims.
You're right. There's always a deeper story there.
Always. And it makes you think, why are we so obsessed with these famous people?
That's a good question.
Like, why do we care so much about their lives, especially when they're messing up?
I think it's because we see them as, like, larger than life.
Yeah, they seem so glamorous, so untouchable.
Exactly. And then we see them make mistakes, and it's like, well, they're human after all.
It brings them back down to earth.
Yeah. But I also think there's a part of us that, you know, enjoys seeing them fall.
Oh, for sure. There's a bit of schadenfreude in there.
Yeah, like they have it all, so it's almost satisfying when they screw up.
It's like a reminder that money and fame don't solve everything.
Totally. But it does make you wonder, in a world obsessed with celebrity, what's our responsibility as consumers?
That's a big question.
It is.
On one hand, we want to hold celebrities accountable.
Especially when they do harmful things.
Exactly. But we also have to remember, they deserve a fair trial, just like anyone else.
Right, due process. It's about finding that balance, isn't it?
It is, holding people accountable, but also allowing for growth and redemption.
It's tricky.
It is, and we have to be careful not to rush to judgment.
Cancel culture can be really dangerous.
Absolutely. We need to have all the facts before we condemn someone.
Agreed. It's a conversation we need to keep having.
For sure. And I think it's also important to remember that we don't really know these celebrities.
We just see the image they project.
Exactly. Their music, their movies, their social media.
It creates this illusion of intimacy.
It does. But at the end of the day, they're strangers.
Right.
And we need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I guess the main takeaway from all this is to be critical, to be aware of the bigger picture, and to remember that celebrities are just people.
With flaws and all.
Exactly. Well, this deep dive into 2024 celebrity scandals has been quite a journey.
It has.
It's amazing how these stories, they seem so surface level, but they can spark such deep questions.
They really do. They make us think about our culture, about ourselves.
For sure. Well, it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. I hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been great talking about all this with you.
Me too. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Keep thinking critically and stay tuned for our next deep dive. We'll be exploring a whole new topic that's sure to get you thinking. Until then, take care.
It's a lot to think about. It's like we feel so connected to these celebrities, you know?
I get it.
We listen to their music, we watch their movies.
Right.
We follow them on social media.
It's like they're part of our lives.
Totally. But then we have to remember, we don't really know them at all.
Yeah, it's a weird relationship.
It is. So I guess the big lesson here is like, don't believe everything you see.
Be skeptical.
Yeah, think critically about these scandals, see the bigger picture.
And remember, celebrities, they're just people.
They make mistakes, just like us.
Exactly. Maybe these scandals can even help us, you know,
How so?
to look at our own values.
Ooh, that's deep.
Like how we engage with this whole celebrity culture thing.
That's a good point. What does it say about us?
Yeah, it's something to think about. It is. Well, this deep dive into the celebrity scandals of 2024 has been a wild one.
It has. Lots of drama.
And lots to think about.
More than meets the eye, right?
Totally. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Time flies when you're dishing dirt.
It really does. I hope you found this insightful.
Me too. It's always good to unpack these things.
It is. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Stay curious, keep those critical thinking skills sharp, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive. We'll be tackling a whole new topic that's sure to get you talking. Until then, take care.